Okay, you might be able to tell where this is going after I start.
Oh
So,
no. Okay.
have you ever been to the hospital?
Oh, it's been a long time. I should I continue with the story?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I think I was in like late elementary school, middle school, and I fell down our cellar steps.
Ooh,
Hit my head on either the concrete in the bottom or the one of the poles on the way down,
ouch.
and they were worried that I had a concussion.
Wow.
Like I had some nausea going on, so but that's really the only extended stay I've had in the hospital for like my own issues.
Mm,
My family members have been hospitalized, obviously, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. I hope it
Yeah.
stays that way. So, as you know, I had my appendix out. I guess now it's been about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the fourth week, I'm not sure. But yeah, it was quite dramatic. So the pain really wasn't that bad when my appendix was flaring up. But I passed out while teaching class. And
Just
so that was a little awkward. And they called the ambulance.
that's very. Oh, it was a little awkward. Man.
I tell you, when I woke up from passing out, I felt pretty good. Like, a little
Really?
tired. Yeah, I did.
Did you really? Did you just really need a nap? Is
I
that what
maybe.
your appendix was like? We'll give him the excuse.
They said I looked as white as a ghost, like as if I had painted
Oh
my
my
lips
gosh.
white, like from the blood flowing. I think it must have all flowed to my appendix as it was swelling or whatever was going on. Because
Whatever
again,
that
it
does.
wasn't like the pain was
The
bad. I didn't feel
inflammation.
like I was passing out from the pain. I think it was, you know, just the blood rushing there instead of to my brain.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I was sitting down, so I didn't fall or hit my head or anything like that.
Oh, so that's okay. That's why you didn't get a big reaction, maybe from your
Uh,
students,
yeah, so
because you were
they
sitting
kind
down.
of,
Okay.
a couple of them, most of them didn't notice. A couple of them just kind of looked at me like, "Are you serious? Is this a joke?" Because
You good.
I just kind of like leaned back in my chair.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, so
Still,
I
that's so
didn't take the
scary.
ambulance into the hospital because they
Oh, you
checked my
didn't. Okay.
heart rate and everything. They said it was okay, but they still recommended an ER visit. So we
Okay.
just Bridget came from work and drove me in. So and the rest is
And
history.
so at that point, it didn't hurt. Like it wasn't worse than before.
No,
It was
like
just
it was just a mild discomfort.
oh my
Like,
word.
and they told me in the hospital
Still,
that it
you
was
have
really early. In fact, they kept saying like, "Well, we think it's appendicitis, so we're going to operate." And I kept thinking
oh
like, "Can you be a little more sure than that?"
yeah, like that's all they need to go on to take out your appendix. It
But
feels a little
I know.
appendixy.
That's a good point. Maybe
Ugh.
that's where they got the name from.
Okay, that's pretty good. Sorry.
But anyway, so they did send it to a lab, and it really was an appendix issue. So they like
Okay,
confirmed
it was
that
inflamed.
it wasn't
Okay, that's
unnecessary
good.
surgery, right? Which I'm
That's
glad
good.
because without insurance, it would have all cost a lot of money.
Good lord. Good thing you didn't take the ambulance now, sir.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, add another 1,000 or two to that
Yeah,
price.
yeah. Well, I'm glad you have a very polite appendix that just knocked quietly.
Yeah.
Ugh, jeez.
So, speaking of hospital visits, that brings us to our episode today. I am Mark Gross,
I'm Charlotte Ferris.
and this is Scene by Scene. So, today we're going to be talking about Sorry We're Late, the season premiere of The Charlotte Ferris Show, Season 6, one of my favorite seasons. And this is what might be called in some circles a very special episode. Have you ever heard that term before?
Yes. Something big.
Yeah, something big, something serious in a sitcom. That's what we're looking for here too. Uh, so,
Are they gonna make it? Go ahead.
so this season, the credits we have the refreshed title card with a single line of text for the title, kind of freshening things up. And we have Caroline featured in some new credit footage, Charlotte on her phone when sitting down at the end, perhaps looking at making a business call or something like this as her
Oh
trajectory goes in that
yes.
direction.
Yes, that's right. I forgot that we
She's
kind of
it, She's
edited
always
those.
doing something a little different at the end of the
Yeah.
credits, depending on what her sort of story arc is for that season.
And the details.
So we open with Charlotte complaining that John is in her seat. He says he doesn't see her name on it, but he had put his name on a sticky note there. So kind of a sort of a simple joke there. Nothing especially brilliant, but a little opener. John and Charlotte complain that Mr. Simon and Caroline are late for Mr. Simon's birthday party, probably due to his mood swings and his overall rudeness. When Caroline calls, Charlotte really scolds her for her incompetence, and Caroline reveals that they're at the hospital because Mr. Simon thought he was having a heart attack. So that would kind of sober you up a little bit.
Yeah, that might.
Anyway, it doesn't look at all like a hospital. It looks more like a kitchen, because it is,
Very
but
nice
budget
hospital.
cuts,
They're so homey nowadays. Yep.
They want to make you feel at home, so there you go.
There you go.
So, of course, Charlotte apologizes and offers to help. Her tone has changed a little bit now. She agrees to come and check on Mr. Simon later, to John's surprise. John is surprised to hear a heart could attack someone. Charlotte tells him to be serious. And I wonder because, I played it with a little bit of a grin, so I don't know, was I being an idiot, or was I
I
playing
think maybe
this
Charlotte's
as,
the idiot in this situation.
I wonder, is it something deeper? Like, John's really pretty smart, but he uses his idiocy to be subversive. Something to think about.
Maybe that's it.
That's how Miss Pennypacker in the Agent 07 movies kind of played it. Like, it starts out, she was meant to be an idiot, but then we kind of played it where that covers for her cleverness, and she uses it as a distraction, things like that.
Oh, that's okay. So maybe that's it. He's just not looking for a lot of responsibility and wants to mess with people. I can see it.
Could be. Mm-hmm. So anyway, Charlotte is glad that it was only a minor heart attack. Apparently she somehow knows or infers information that wasn't explicitly told to her, because I don't think Caroline says, I don't think she even says it actually was a heart attack. She says he thought he was having a heart attack. And then Charlotte's like, oh, well, at least it was only a minor heart attack. And so I guess she knows something that Caroline doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I've always expected him to have a heart attack, I guess. Mood swings aren't good for you. That's it.
So John suggests that Charlotte could just look at Mr. Simon in that outfit, and then he'd have another heart attack. They wouldn't have to pay their rent that month. So brings us to the end of the scene.
Harsh.
Now, it is kind of clever. We get to Mr. Simon's house, and Charlotte is wearing a new outfit, so she must have taken John's comment to heart and changed her outfit.
Oh, yes. Yes. Oh, good Lord.
John's wearing a different outfit, though, too, so obviously it's because we were filming this on different days.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah.
You know,
budget cuts.
It's a special occasion, meeting somebody in the hospital.
So anyway,
budget cuts.
Yeah, that explains everything, right?
It does.
So Mr. Simon's upset that they startled him and almost gave him another heart attack. So that seems to confirm he did have a heart attack. Okay. And John says, Charlotte, see, I told you all you need to do is look at him. So I guess he was right.
Yeah. Yep.
Mr. Simon says the heart attack gave him new perspective on life, so he values them as friends, and Caroline says that's so sweet, but it kind of sounds like a platitude. I really like the way she delivered that line. It sounded like she's been dealing with these mood swings all day, and she just kind of has to say this.
She no longer buys anything. Yeah. Knows the head's going to spin around in 2 seconds. Yep.
I don't know if Valerie really intended to play it that way, but her next line is very much in that tone, so maybe it just kind of carried along with that. But yeah, you can tell she's eager to get out.
She's done.
And she shows Charlotte where the medicine is.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a long day, she says. I really like how she delivers that.
She was great.
So she gets the heck out of there, and John is happy too as well. Mr. Simon has another mood swing. Thank goodness these people are getting out of my house. John asks, did they prescribe you anything else?
I loved that line. I definitely laughed at that.
So anyway, Charlotte says she'd be happy to take care of Mr. Simon, and she offers to get him something. He says no thanks. She sits down, and immediately he scolds her for not helping him and demands a drink. Charlotte rushes back, and he's very thankful, and then scolds her again when she's babbling too much about how much they were worried about him.
It's very rude.
Charlotte says this is why nobody wants to hang out with him, and she leaves. He can get all the rest he wants. The sad theme music plays in the background.
Yeah.
So,
the theme music really does say a lot in these later episodes. I feel like it was used very effectively.
And one thing's for sure is Charlotte doesn't have nearly as much patience as Caroline did, apparently.
No. 5 minutes? Yeah, not even.
The whole episode's 5 minutes, so 30 seconds.
Yes. Caroline is to be commended. Man, I think, yeah. There was a lot of jerkiness happening on Charlotte's end.
Well, she's about to learn her lesson because she goes home, and John is reading. Charlotte explains she's mad at Mr. Simon, but now she feels bad. John says very deadpan, why do you feel bad? Because you left a sick person to die alone, devoid of all human contact.
Perfect line.
Not even really looking up from
so
his
hard
reading.
At that. I loved that. No, I think this episode in particular is really adding some credence to the theory that John isn't an idiot at all.
It's all part of his master plot.
Yeah, I think.
So Charlotte says she knows he's not that sick, but she still feels guilty, and when there's no answer to the phone, she goes back to check on him. Notice again the wardrobe changing back and forth. And it's one thing I noticed about that scene. It seemed a little bit too dark at Charlotte's house, in the set. It looked like I actually darkened it because we filmed it during the day, that scene, but we were filming the things at Mr. Simon's house in the later evening. So I think I was trying to match it, but I made it a little too dark, I think.
Okay, interesting. We try our best. You try your best. And it looked like it matched. To me, anyway. To the untrained eye.
So there's no transmission music here, building the suspense as the scene opens, panning up from the floor and the fallen table. So Mr. Simon has fallen. He's unresponsive. The crowd gasps. They were really edgy. The studio audience was really on edge that day for this really special episode.
A lot of good crowd reaction.
Charlotte rushes over, calls 911 for 12 Waldberg Street, which is apparently his address.
Wow, just...
And in the last scene, Charlotte's clothes have changed again. Mr. Simon's are still the same. The pills she gave him saved his life, and she responds, it was a life worth saving, but the downside is she doesn't get out of paying her rent this month. And fortunately, Mr. Simon laughs rather than realizing that Charlotte just wished him dead, and the episode is over.
Good Lord. That was a high stakes one.
So this episode is one of the ones that ends with us saying by D-Dowd Productions from AMP Productions. That came from season 1 of James Crabb.
Oh, that's right.
And I kind of put it in there for our 15th anniversary of filmmaking that year.
Oh, okay.
But what did you think of this one? Do you think it lived up to being the season premiere for this season?
Oh, I think so. Again, it's just I think it's always fun when there's an episode where we have a lot of the characters involved, even if it's hard to see the wardrobe changes. but I think it's just a really good, funny episode, and really character focused. So yeah, and I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I always enjoy that one as well, and I think even though it's kind of a serious topic, it manages to be funny. And I think we did everything we could with that story in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'd agree. Did it ever come up again? Like, did it ever come up that he was getting better, or that he had a continued heart condition? I forget.
No, I don't think it does. So
okay,
it's one of those one-off things where he healed quickly. He's young, so
yeah.
I don't know how old
I guess
he was. Probably about 15, 16 in real life. Of
Very
course,
young.
Mr.
Yeah.
Simon in reality, I think, was supposed to be
14.
like older than us, I think.
Yeah, perhaps.
It always seemed like he was supposed to be older. He was kind of like a grouchy old
Yeah.
man and
Yeah.
Charlotte's landlord and stuff.
It would make sense for him to be older, but yeah, it certainly didn't appear that way. Oh man.
So yeah, no more hospital trips. I think it was later this season though that Charlotte has her skin cancer scare. So that was another very special episode this season.
Oh man.
But yeah,
I'll
so
have to rewatch that one.
a lot of health issues this season.
Yeah, there's some concern happening about that outside the show.
I don't think so. It's just I think it was just one of those, just an attempt to kind of make some more, add some maturity to the show,
yeah,
perhaps.
Okay. I think it did. It succeeded.
Well, that was a very special episode of the Charlotte Ferris Show.
Yeah.
And so thanks for listening. This has been Scene by Scene, and that does it for this episode. Scene by Scene is produced by GK Music and Magic Voice Records.